Hello, I'm Melissa Smith, and I'm a candidate for House District 20, which is the southern rim of Great Falls from the airport to the Air Force Base. And if I'm elected, I will have a seat in the Montana legislature. So I have been doing a series of cooking shows, or little cooking videos, I should say, to introduce you to a lot of really wonderful locally grown products. And today we're going to cook with my last pork chops that I have from Cordova Farms. And Cordova Farms is a farm that is up in Power, Montana, and they are raising heritage pork. And it really is some of the best pork that you can find in Montana. So definitely seek them out, and they deliver directly to Great Falls. So you can have this beautiful pork delivered directly to you. What we're gonna make with this pork is pork chops with blueberry salsa. These are blueberries that came from Washington State. They were brought over by Gaines Produce. Gaines Produce will bring produce to Great Falls at least once a week, and you can sign up for a box. Of course, I wish that I had a cup of huckleberries, but I have not seen any huckleberries for sale here in Great Falls. So if anybody knows a source of huckleberries, please send me a private message, because I would love to start cooking with some huckleberries. But these are beautiful, beautiful berries from Eastern Washington that Gaines Produce brought in. And that will be in our blueberry salsa. And I have my own jalapeno peppers that I've grown myself. They're just resting in a little bit of balsamic vinegar. And of course, my basil from my garden, that will also go in the salsa. And a little bit of brown sugar. So what I've been showing you right here are my mise en place, which is one of my students' favorite ways of saying that instead of the French mise en place, she always called it mise en place. And I just think that's so adorable. So of course, here are my mise en place. When I cook my pork chops, I'm going to cook them today on the stove in a cast iron skillet. I think all good Montana kitchens have a beautiful cast iron skillet. I've had this cast iron skillet for almost 30 years. So they last forever, and they're such a fantastic tool to have in your kitchen that can do so much. And instead of using olive oil, I'm going to use this sapphire oil, which is from Big Sandy. And it is a really nice oil. It doesn't have a lot of flavor. So, if you really love the flavor of olive oil, you might want to use that instead. But it also has a really high smoke point, which I like because I'm going to add butter to this. And so it'll just make maybe a little bit less smoke in my kitchen. And so those are my ingredients that I'm going to use today, plus a little bit of salt and pepper. And let's cook. Hello. So I have heated up my cast iron pan here and melted my butter as well as the oil. And we're ready to add my pork chops. And I dried them with paper towels and seasoned them with salt and pepper. And now they're just going to go right in. Whoops. They're slippery, these pork chops. There we go, I've got them in the pan. Ready to go. And I'm going to cook these about 2 minutes on each side and then turn them over. And then I'm going to let them cook for about 16 to 18 minutes until the pork reaches 145 degrees on my meat thermometer. So we'll just let them cook for about 2 minutes on each side. So they've been cooking for 2 minutes on each side now. And I've turned my stove down to low. I'm just going to cover them with some aluminum foil and let them cook. You could use a lid too. If you had a lid that would fit. There it is. And just be loosely covered. Don't burn your hands. You can always tell a seasoned cook when they just go in with their fingers, because their fingers are numb from cooking. But here I can use a pot holder and cover my pork chops a little bit. So they'll cook for about that long. So I'm going to set a timer just, to check them, about 14 minutes. You see how they're doing. In the meantime, we can finish our salsa. So all I've done here is I've added the blueberries, the balsamic vinegar, my jalapenos, and some brown sugar in a microwave safe bowl. We're gonna make this in the microwave. How easy is that? And I just wanted to mention that I didn't use very much jalapeno because my jalapenos this year are really, really hot. But obviously use as much jalapeno as you like. So into the microwave for 1 minute. I realized that I sounded just like the barefoot contestant there when I said, how easy is that? But we've all learned from some really great chefs, and she certainly is one. Okay, we're almost ready to take them out of the microwave right here. There we go. Oh, it smells amazing. And you just take a wooden spoon, and we're gonna just stir them up a little bit and try to mash some of the berries a little bit and leave some whole. Just so you have a little chunkier salsa. Stir that all in. Oh, really, that's incredible smelling. Mashing them. If you feel like that maybe needed a few more seconds, you could always put it in. I think if you were using huckleberries, a minute is more than enough because those berries will smash so quickly. There we go, there's our salsa. Just gonna pour it into a bowl. Oh, well, actually before I do that, I'm gonna add my fresh basil. And stir that in. Okay, so now when I have blueberries, basil, balsamic, and jalapeno all together, oh my gosh, that's good. I'm thinking that this would make a fantastic cocktail. Some vodka. I'm not a vodka drinker, but might feel okay with a little bit of gin. Maybe a nice floral gin like Ruby River Gin made down in Bozeman. And of course, so many places now in Montana are making vodka. Okay, there's our salsa, it's all done. Hi, so I'm testing my pork chops. They're at 145, and they're thickest part. So now, to finish them, all I'm going to do is add a tablespoon of balsamic vinegar. And then I'm going to turn them in this sauce that I just made. There we go. Getting all that nice balsamic vinegar with them. And then you just want to take your chops out of the pan and put them on a clean plate and let them rest for 3 minutes. These cooked about 14 minutes. They reached 145. And while they're resting, I'm going to reuse this trusty piece of foil and cover them so they stay warm while they are resting for our 3 minutes. And I'm not going to let this little vinaigrette here go to waste because that's going to be really nice to pour over the pork chops before the salsa. So I'm just going to take that and save it right here in my trusty little bowl I had for my mice in place. And that pretty much is this dish. So I'll be back when I show you how I serve it family style. So here is my pork chops from Cordova Farms served with a blueberry salsa, family style. The extra salsa is over on the table, so everybody can have a little extra. And I love garnishing with fresh herbs. So because I have parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme on this side, and then I garnish with more basil, which is already in the pork chops, as well as a little sprigs of lavender, because everything's better with lavender. And then we decided, let's go ahead and make a cocktail. So for one of the cocktails, I used this beautiful huckleberry gin from Glacier Distilling over in Coram, Montana. And that is cocktail number 1 with the blueberry salsa and huckleberry gin. And I floated a little basil for aromatic. Oh, that's really nice. And because this is one of my favorite gins, it's a floral gin from Ruby, it's called Ruby River Gin, and it's at Bozeman Distillery in Bozeman, Montana. I thought we should try the same cocktail with that. And so now with the Ruby River. Oh, that's really, really delicious because of all the extra floral notes that are in the gin. It's really lovely. This one would be my favorite. And I'm sure because this is a little sweeter and has more berry in it, it will be my cameraman's pleasure to drink this one. Thanks, David, for making this video for me today. And remember, it's Cooking with the Candidate for House District 20 in Great Falls, the southern rim of the city, from the airport to the Air Force Base. And I'm Melissa Smith.